Hello again, and welcome to the Soccer Media Podcast. I'm John Schrader. We're getting ever closer to the 2026 World Cup, and I think it's time to chat with a gentleman who co-founded the fanatics group of American soccer, the American Outlaws. Korey Donahoo and his pals founded this group in Lincoln, Nebraska in 2007, and they're going strong, and they'll be there on opening day. Chatting with Korey Donahoo coming up on the program. Thanks for being here. I'm not sure there can be a better time to be a soccer fan in America, unless you're trying to figure out how to buy the tickets or pay for the tickets. But certainly the greatest sporting event we believe in the history of humankind is about to happen. And right in the front row, quite possibly in the front row, could be Korey Donahoo, is one of the co-founders of American Outlaws. You're a soccer fan, you know who they are. Korey, thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
Thanks, John. Happy to be here.
Yes. So, will you be in the front row of all these West Coast USA and wherever else they play after that games this year?
I'm not. My first dig on FIFA. I'm not a multi-billionaire, so I'll not be in the front row.
Neither will I.
I would if I could. This will be my fifth or sixth World Cup. I will be there. I don't know where my tickets are yet, but I have them purchased. It's been a frustrating process, as anybody who's tried to get tickets for the World Cup knows. We're doing the best we can, but I will be there, and we will be loud. And it's been quite a ride for the last however many years. It's been frustrating. It's been exciting, but I think once it kicks off, hopefully it's going to be really fun, and hopefully the boys can come through for us.
So you guys don't get special treatment for tickets?
We work very hard with U.S. Soccer every week. We have a call, and we've worked with them since 2007 on working out logistics of getting sections in every stadium for every U.S. men's and women's game. World Cups are unique every time. This one is no different. We've been working with U.S. Soccer, and they've helped us to try to get a section. We still don't know if we have a few tickets that were available to our members. We still don't know exactly where those tickets are to this day, and the game is in 3 weeks. So I blame FIFA. U.S. Soccer has worked with us pretty well, so we've been partners. Partners. We've worked with them since for 18 years now. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, why wouldn't you know where the tickets are yet? I'm curious about that. Maybe you don't know either.
I don't know the fact. I don't know. In fact, I think a lot of folks are frustrated with the transparency behind buying tickets and where their tickets are going to be located. A lot of people plunk down a lot of money, myself included. Don't know exactly what section or where. Quite frankly, I don't know if FIFA knows. So I don't know the whole story behind it, but it's hoping to find out here pretty soon before we get to the stadium.
Now, I'm going to ask you this question, and if you're uncomfortable with it, we can edit it out. But is dealing with FIFA sometimes the mystery of sort of dealing with, I don't know, the underworld a little bit? You're not really sure, but you have to play the rules of the game as they're laid out, and you just do it and do the best you can and do it with a smile as much as possible?
Well, we don't deal with FIFA all that often. We work with U.S. Soccer Federation very often, and they deal with FIFA more often than we do. I'm more than happy to not deal with FIFA all that much. But
to be honest with you, there's a lot of people who feel that same way, I think.
Yeah, I think speaking on behalf of our members and most fans, we've been a little frustrated by the process this time and the affordability of tickets. And so American Outlaws has been trying to do the best we can and working with U.S. Soccer and making events outside the stadium that anybody can go to, anybody can afford, because the vast majority of people aren't going to be able to be in the stadium for this one. So for this World Cup, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. And I feel some of that pain myself. I and my family, we applied for some tickets and then realized how much they were and thought, well, maybe we'll watch the games on television, and applied for more tickets, and the prices weren't any better, and so we'll watch the games on television. I guess that's the way a lot of folks have decided they're going to have to see this tournament. Yeah.
Well, I would encourage them if they want the group atmosphere, which I do. I think that's the best thing about World Cups is you get to experience these worldwide moments that the whole world's watching, but you get to experience them with a ton of other people.
Mm-hmm.
I would encourage them. We have chapters in every city in America, basically 200 chapters. Every one of those chapters, almost everyone, will be having like a get together in their city to watch. It should be free or close to free. We're having one here in Lincoln, John. You're more than welcome to join us down in the
Yes.
rail yard, and it's a great alternative. Really, I mean, it's not the same as being in the stadium, but the passion's there, and the people are there, and you can jump and you can hug strangers just like you can, in the stadium.
Jump and hug strangers. That's the aspiration here. Okay, Korey. Yeah, let's not bury this any further. The American Outlaws is the biggest, most recognized fan group of American soccer, and it's less than 20 years ago in, I'm not going to say little old Lincoln, Nebraska. It's not a small town, but it certainly isn't the hub of American soccer. And you and your pals decide you're going to start a fan group in Lincoln, Nebraska. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, that you got the basis of it right. Uh, my group of friends and I were huge fans of the U.S. teams, and I specifically would at that time it was you had to have the right channel to watch the teams. They weren't on the big networks. They were often on these smaller, strange channels. And I like to get people together and go to bars to watch them with people generally. And so I would call around and find the one in Lincoln that would have us and have the sound on and invite all these people, and we'd get 5, 10, 15 folks at most games, to hang out and watch. And we then U.S. Soccer announced that the U.S. team was playing Brazil in Chicago. This was in 2007, September 2007, and my buddies and I said, I bet if we got a charter bus from here to Chicago, it's about an 8-hour drive. I bet we could fill that bus to go to this game. It's a big game. It's on a weekend, etc. So we took the plunge and we rented a charter bus and we filled it. And we said, the biggest thing we kind of realized was every city around the country probably has groups of people just like us who want to watch every game together with other people, and they just want a steady place where they can go and expect to watch the game and have the sound on and be with other US fans. So that was kind of the gist of how we started. I mean, we said there's got to be these people all over. We need one centralized voice. That's another part that started it. Was we would travel to games all the time. I mean, we would drive to Connecticut. It's just 3 days to right before the Germany World Cup. We drove there to try to see the team off right before meeting them in Germany. But we got to after the World Cup in 2000. Let's see, that would have been 2007 in January. We went to the game in California, and getting to the stadium, and there wasn't any tailgate set up or anything, and we kind of had been to big games where there were tailgates set up, and we said, well, we need to be consistent. There should be some consistency with this stuff. So we said, why not us? We can be the organizer. We can be the main voice telling people where to go before the games. We can work out tickets and ticket blocks and sections in the stadium, and we can do all the logistics. And there are plenty of people like us around. We can set up a chapter system just like what we do in Lincoln. And that was really the basis of it. And we just made a basic website and kicked off at that Chicago game in 2007 and never really looked back. I mean, it's really served us really well. We had a good plan from the start. So come a long way since then. I'm no longer taking ticket orders by writing down people's names in a notebook and collecting checks in the mail like we did in the early days. But yeah, very proud of it. We're about 18 years into this thing, and no sign of stopping now. We're about to host a World Cup, so we better do the best we can.
Yeah. So it would be fair to the other guys. So who are the guys that you co-founded this group with?
Yeah, so Justin Brunken is the main other co-founder. Ben Cahoon was there in the early days too, and but he had other commitments. He started another very cool thing going on here in the area. But Justin and I took the reins in September-ish 2007, and have been on the board ever since. So we have a board of directors, and then we have 200 chapters all over the country, and every one of those chapters has a couple volunteers that lead their chapter and make sure that their host bar, their chapter bar in their city is ready and is putting the games on and making sure the sound is on and making sure that they're coordinating with us at AO National and doing getting stuff set up to make a good time for our members all over the country.
Did you guys have any idea what you were getting into when you started this venture?
Absolutely not. Um,
Or would you have
I
changed your mind?
I'm a pretty Justin and I often joke that he is the gas and I am the brakes. He has the ideas, he likes to run with ideas, he likes to say yes to everything. I like to tell him, no, that's not going to work. Slow down. If you'd have told me in 2007 that we would be where we're at, which is today, I think we're at 24,000 members who are current and paying members around the country, 200 chapters, both at home and abroad. I mean, I'd say you're crazy, right? And we've done a lot of really cool things that we're really proud of over the last 18 years. Um, Hoping this World Cup will be a memorable one too. It's been tough to organize, almost as tough as the previous ones, and
And they've been
unfortunately,
away.
what's that?
And those have been away. Those have
Oh
been
yeah,
outside
that's
the
correct.
country.
One would think it would be easier, John, but it just hasn't really worked out that way.
Yeah.
So we're doing the best we can to make opportunities for your average fans and for our members and members of the community who maybe don't watch soccer on a regular basis to meet up with other more passionate fans and maybe fall in love with it the same way we did.
And you guys have day jobs, and so and how much time do you spend doing the American Outlaws stuff, and how does that conflict, if at all, with the work you have to do to keep a roof over your head and clothes on your kids' bodies, right?
Yeah, well, for a long time, we did it entirely at night. None of us had kids at the time. I don't think any of us were married even. It's come a long way in 20 years. I got two daughters and back to full time at my day job. But it depends. We have a great group of volunteers. We have a shipping team, which is my mom and her friends, basically, who have been
That's
folding all
great.
of our shirts and sending all of our memberships. I mean, we send out what 50,000 pieces of apparel probably a year, and those ladies, I mean, they get every Monday and Thursday. They're in our office or in our warehouse and folding shirts and sending them out. So, they love it and they love to hang out and talk as much as they love the part-time work, I guess. And then as far as the organizers, we have two full-time people now to get ready for this World Cup who weren't around even 2-3 years ago. Up until then, it was all part-time. We had our day jobs, like you said, and just doing it in our spare time and trying to get through it and survive it.
Could you have imagined in 2007 at all that when this World Cup came around, and you knew at some point the World Cup was coming back here? It was so successful in 1994 that at some point I thought it would have been here sooner, and so did a lot of other people before the Russia and Qatar business happened. But anyway, could you have imagined then that you would be the name in American soccer fanaticism when you started this adventure so long ago?
No, I absolutely could not have. But with it comes huge responsibility, right? I mean, it kind of dawned on us in probably 2009, 2010 when we started really growing quickly and we went from, a few hundred members, and then the World Cup 2010 happened in South Africa, and we took 55 people down to South Africa and drove them around in a bus, and had our travel package down there, and we came back to realize that we had tripled in size in the month that we'd been gone, and we kind of said, "Oh boy, all right, we need to deliver for these folks because we have qualifying coming up in a couple of years, and we have some Gold Cup games and big home games and things, and it's up to us to deliver on atmosphere in the stadium, And so we had to organize drums and getting in banners and chant leaders, or capos, and getting sections worked out and making sure people know the songs and new people are welcome and all that kind of stuff. And that's just in the stadium. Outside the stadium, people expect like a place to go see people from around the country, either at our night before parties, which we have for every game in the city at the chapter bar usually, or for the pregame party, our tailgate, usually a tailgate in the parking lot if we can get it one. That stuff takes a lot of time and a lot of work, and it was a responsibility that we took on and have delivered on every men's and women's game for 18 years. Proud of it. It's been a ton of work. It's been trials and tribulations, a lot of success along the way too. If you'd asked me 2007 if we'd be doing that, I'd have said absolutely not. But looking back, I'm glad it happened the way it did, and maybe we'll do it for 18 more years. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Knowing what you know now, would you do it again?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
All my best friends I met through American Outlaws and through
yeah.
soccer, and all my favorite. I mean, I would say a lot of my favorite memories have come by going to games with folks, and like I said, jumping and hugging strangers after big goals, and yeah. So I mean, maybe the Brazil trip probably took a decade off of my life planning that trip. We took over 500 AO members on 2 charter planes to Brazil and back. And we went to the 3 group stage games there. And it was a lot of work and a lot of planning and a lot of sleepless nights. And we got everybody to every game, and we had, a lifetime's worth of memories, just like every
Wow.
World Cup provides. So hopefully this one will be the same. Hopefully we'll have great memories come out of this one.
Yeah, I hope so. When people learn this, do they say, Lincoln, freaking Nebraska? What in the world? How did this happen in Lincoln, freaking Nebraska? Did they say that?
Yeah, I'd say every interview I do, they ask that.
I'm sorry, but I had to then.
No, it's. I mean, everybody I talk to also says that. In some ways, it's been awesome and worked out perfectly. Nobody. I don't think anybody considers Lincoln, Nebraska a hotbed of soccer in America, but in some ways, that's really worked in our advantage. I mean, we don't have an MLS team here, which kind of stinks, but also works out because we don't have any natural rivals. We don't, we're kind of a neutral space, if you will, sort of. People around here are really friendly and hardworking, as you know, and we have kind of an entrepreneurial spirit in Lincoln, and companies around here work together to help local folks, so that we've leaned on some local companies to help us a lot over the years, and the community here is great. um, and it's just a good place to live, you know that, John. So
Yeah.
been here my whole life. So yeah, it does catch people off guard. They wouldn't expect it, but I grew up playing and grew up loving the sport, especially started in 2002 World Cup is my first like real solid memory, although I did watch the 94 one, which was the last US World Cup hosted World Cup. So um yeah, Lincoln's been awesome to us, and no plans on leaving.
Yeah. The 2002 World Cup has been the most successful American venture in the World Cup since the 1950s 50s. Well, they didn't actually play in the World Cup between 1950 and 1990. So there's a pretty long dry patch in there. And 2002 in South Korea, Japan made it to the quarterfinals and came pretty damn close to making it to the semifinals. Where in Lincoln, Nebraska, if you dare say, does this group gather for, or probably still does gather for the games?
Captain Jack's Bar on 12th and P Street
Still,
has
that was the
been
beginning, wasn't it? Yeah.
pretty much, yeah. They weren't even I think they only opened the bar in 2008, but so we were just getting started, and we were looking for a place that would host us every game, like I said, and we kind of went in there, and they had one TV, and Kevin, the bar owner, who's become a close friend over this time, who's not even a soccer fan, by the way. When we went in there, like, we walked in and didn't care at all about soccer, and they were just starting out, and they had one big TV, but Ben, our third founder, worked with him in that bar on one of their ventures and recommended him. So we went in there and talked to him, and we said, if you put the sound on every game, we'll come watch every game. How's that sound? He said, great. What can I do to keep you here? And we said, well, if you add one more TV, that would be great. So they went from 1 to 2 TVs that first year, I remember, and now, I mean, it's the soccer bar in a lot of ways, not just in Lincoln. People make pilgrimages here from all over the country to see Captain Jack's. It's kind of in AO and in U.S. soccer fan lore, if you will. So we host chapter leaders who happen to be driving through, or they're in Lincoln for work or whatever. We host them at Captain Jack's all the time. So that's the place, 12th and P. We'll be there for the World Cup, like we are for every U.S. game, men's and women's. And then also we'll be doing stuff at the rail yard too on the big screen. So
yeah. So you have a day job, and you said you went back to the day job full time. So there was a time when you were doing if you don't mind, you're a civil engineer. I mean, you have a real job that requires real work on a regular basis. And so you were doing a little bit of both. Is that what happened?
yeah, I have been every day since day one. Sometimes more so than others. Around the World Cup, my bosses usually say, "You go deal with all that," and take a couple weeks off. Yeah, it's been a balancing act since day one. I thought it was super exhausting before I was married and had kids. Now, now it's extra exhausting, and I'm a little bit older. I don't have the energy that I used to have, but I'm not as involved every day either. Like I said, we got some folks who are there every day working on stuff. So it's been a balancing act for sure. But I love it. I love all the connections I made and all the memories we made, and so wouldn't have it any other way, really.
So your wife married into this venture, and your children were born into this venture. So it's really just a family enterprise now. Is that right?
Yeah, I met my wife at an AO event. Actually,
well, there you go.
Her best friend talked her into going to Captain Jack's for a watch party. Didn't know anything about soccer, and I started talking to her there. So my daughters are 3 and 6, and don't care really at all about watching soccer yet. I try it. I try and push them on it. I don't know. We'll keep trying. They don't listen to me as much as I would hope. So
well, they'll find
keep
their
working
way.
on it. Yeah,
they'll
that's
find
right.
their way. Yeah. What's been the most fun, the most rewarding thing about doing this for the last almost 20 years?
That's a good question. I mean, the memories are the number one thing, and the relationships that I mean, not to get sappy, but like I said, you go through some of the stuff that we've gone through with Justin and other folks at national and other chapter leaders. You can't imagine the kind of things that come up, but working through some really, really tough times really makes you stronger, as a person, and makes you like have never ending memories with people. That's been awesome. But also the great times give you memories that you never forget. Like For example, 2010 in South Africa, the Algeria game where Landon Donovan scores at the last second. I was in the stadium with 10 of my best friends because we're all there for the American Outlaws travel package. We see the ball go in and we're all just diving on each other. I had 10 people on top of me, and I eventually got up, all these people off me, and got up to see the final whistle like 3 minutes later or whatever. And I was 3 rows ahead of where I was when the goal had gone in. So that's the kind of stuff you never forget. And in 2000, 14, after Brazil, or after the group stage, we came back and we played Belgium in the quarterfinal, I believe, or no, the round of 32, round of 16, sorry.
16, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, round of 16. And uh I came back to Lincoln having been in Brazil for 2 weeks, and got back the day before that game and went to Captain Jack's and went to our other bar, and it was just packed. And it was like nothing I'd ever seen in Lincoln before, walking around downtown, and everybody's wearing their jerseys and or wearing the bomb pop jerseys at the time. And it was like, Lincoln had caught the fever, and you don't see that here all that often. And like that's a memory I'll never forget, is walking in there and just I mean, first of all, the crammed nature of it, and then we scored one goal in that game to try to make it close at the end, and everybody's going crazy and throwing their drinks, which we don't condone, but kind of condone it. But
Depending on the moment, yes.
it depends on where you're at. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those kinds of things stick with you, and the moments shared with other people is probably the biggest thing I'll take with me.
What does one of America's biggest soccer fans of U.S. soccer expect from this team in 2026?
Well, it's tough to say. If you'd asked me that a few months ago, we had just beat Uruguay, I believe, pretty handily, and looked pretty good. Pochettino, our coach, is widely regarded one of the best coaches in the world. He's come over here. He's definitely gone through some lows. He went through some highs. Last window, we played some really good teams, and kind of we showed some promise, but we ended up getting beat pretty good. So a lot of folks have called this, over the last 5-10 years, our golden generation. They're definitely talented group of players, and if we can time it right, and play to the best of our abilities, we can do some stuff down in or do we can go deep in this tournament. Um, I I think for me, if you're asking for my prediction or for my expectation, I would say if we make the round of 16, that's pretty much an expectation to an extent. Although you have the added pressure of being hosts and blah blah blah. But I would hope to make the round of 16. I think if we make the round of 8, we've done pretty well. Anything past round of 16 is gravy to me. But also, I'm a bit of a pessimist. I like to believe we can win it all. American soccer has been known for being tough and gritty, and working it out when you need it the most. Like when our backs are up against the wall, that's when we play our best. Hopefully, it doesn't come to that, and we can play our best without that. But I don't know, that has served us well in the past, and you never know, man. If it times out right and everybody's healthy, which cross your fingers that could happen, and we come together and we just start playing to our best. I mean, we got players at some of the best clubs in the world.
Hmm.
We have for a while now. We can make some noise.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I think being the home team is something that is estimable, that it does make a difference, and it can be and should be a factor, I think. Right?
Yeah, I agree. Usually it's a factor for the better. It should be,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
These guys have worked their whole lives to get in front of as many, in front of the big crowds and the bright lights. And there is no bigger crowd and there's no brighter light than hosting a World Cup. I mean, that Paraguay game in Los Angeles on June 12th is going to be easily the biggest game they've ever played in their lives, in at least up to that point. So I get nervous just thinking about it.
And you'll be there.
I
And you'll
will.
be there,
I
right?
will.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you'll be right in that cutaway when they take that American Outlaws cutaway on television. Now, it's the world feed, so I would still expect them to cut away to you guys sooner than later, right?
Yeah, assuming our tickets are put together, which I'm assuming they are. I've been told they probably will be. Hopefully we have, I believe we have, I don't want to say anything for sure. Nothing's been confirmed yet. It's been maddening, quite frankly. But we should have a good section. We're going to be as loud as we can. I hesitate to complain too much about the ticket prices and how they priced out maybe a lot of your average fans, and maybe even the loudest fans, which kind of stinks. So I hope the atmosphere is great, and I'm going to do my best to make it as great as I can. So it'll be fun to be there, and the world's going to be watching. So let's put on a show.
Well, I hope you have fun. I'll be watching. I'll be looking for you. How about that on that first American Outlaws cutaway? And congratulations, Korey and Justin and Ben, for putting Lincoln, Nebraska at the center of the American soccer fan attention. So way to go.
Thank you, John. Thanks for the time. This has been fun.
Absolutely. Thank you. Korey Donahoo, one of the founders of American Outlaws. And if you're a soccer fan in the U.S., a soccer fan of the men's and women's national teams, then you know who they are, and you'll be looking for them at the World Cup. And he's been kind enough to spend some time with us on the Soccer Media Podcast. I'm John Schrader.